if you look at November 4th, there's been some YouTubers who have been advising people like, oh, get ready, you know. I mean, I've heard I watched a bunch of the videos at one point, and a lot of these YouTubers just sound like total tinfoil hats. Like, a few of them were saying they're gonna go door to door and they're gonna, like, bust down your door and steal your guts. And it's just... I mean, it's just...
I've met these people in real life.
And like it more? Like that kind of a statement?
Yeah, like...
that is just an incredibly ridiculous statement.
I don't get into, like, the fear porn. Like, I think November 4th will be a bunch of dumbass kids sitting in parks like they did with, Occupy Wall Street. I mean, and the reality is...
Worst case scenario...
If there was an actual, like,
worst case scenario, though, the worst case scenario would be they're going to go and protest, and if the right-wingers go and they counter-protest, they're going to get, like, beat up, and there would be, like, riots and stuff, which is why I have advised people, don't be going and, where the rallies are going to be. Here's the list. Like, do not, you get these idiots who, to me, have the mentality of a 12-year-old, and maybe they're, like, leftists who've infiltrated. I don't know if you know the situation. There's a guy named, which I mentioned earlier.
No.
He is a leftist. It's come out that he's married. He's supposedly one of us, but he runs around wearing a red MAGA hat or a white MAGA hat. He's always talking about how he's got to wear his hat. He's always talking about red pill, red pill. What is it? The ones who are faking it, they're always, like, dropping the terms MAGA and red pill a lot. Because that's one thing that some of the YouTubers commented on about, what's her face? Candace Black Girl. They commented that she's always like, MAGA, 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 And then, of course, she called herself Red Pill, and it's like, she has no concept of what the right is or what being red-pilled is. But this guy does the same thing. He's always talking about red pill this, red pill that, using the term conservative, but not quite using it right. But he only... And the thing is...
Because he's probably one.
I don't think he's a conservative. I think he's a leftist. He's got somebody, he called her wifey, and somebody figured out that she was BLM. And then he says, oh no, it's just like a girlfriend or something. But there's like a picture of the two of them with the kid together that seems to be their kid. So nobody can get straight answers out of him. When we first started asking him, just like Candace, he kept changing the subject. So, and then he started, when he finally got backed into it, when we finally backed him into a corner, he started lying and blocking people. Like, just like her. He's Hispanic, too. So it's another one of these, minorities who thinks they're going to come in and they're going to, like, go on InfoWars and Rebel Media and, like, get famous for being a minority and being on the right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's, like, legitimate people out there that are, but I think that there's certainly a portion of people who are just seeking internet fame. You know what I mean? It's obvious, and that's where I think that the Red Pill Black was certainly at with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think she opened her Patreon right away, and I think she figured she was going to make money on her Patreon, and this is what Tree said, and we couldn't prove it, but I do believe this is correct. I don't believe Tree definitively proved it, but I do believe that Tree is absolutely correct. I believe her plan was to come in, get right-wingers to give her money on our Patreon, use that money for her site. And the reason why I think this is, if you look at a lot of her interviews, until she really hardcore got backed into a corner by the right-winger YouTubers, she would be in interviews and everything they would say, you would see that she would turn around and she would bring the topic Like, they would be talking about something totally unrelated, and she would be like, yes, and it's just like what they did to me, and they tried to shut me down and pull my legs out from underneath me, but I'm back now. And she still refers to herself as an entrepreneur, and she still says things like, my company. Like, I mean...
That's interesting, yeah.
And she keeps saying she was in finance.
Extremely suspect.
She keeps saying she was in finance. She went to work in finance to pay off her loans. But when I was doing some digging, it appeared like she was a secretary in the finance industry, not like a finance person, which makes more sense because she also said she was a journalist. She was a journalism major. She, I guess, started out working as like a secretary or assistant or type job, working for one of the fashion magazines, and then I guess, she worked as like an assistant. But I don't remember exactly where I saw it.
That's like so much is
What's that?
So much is coming out on her now because she actually made like this. I said so much is coming out on her now because she actually made like this, this stink, I guess, about everything, and it's like nobody, I think, really looked into her background prior till now, and then is starting to really see like, well, this chick really isn't who she says she is. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all kind of, I think you're going to hear more and more coming out.
Well, there were a few people who were recognizing her from the social autopsy. There were a few people that recognized her, but when Tree did her video, those of us who subbed to Tree, even though there were some of the other people had somewhat decent sub counts that they could have probably triggered something. Tree's people, like, it's not like she told us what to do, but we all just went out with our marching orders. Like, people saw the video, everybody started, a couple other YouTubers saw her video and started making videos. People were saying that they started tweeting her video to other YouTubers, and then the comments on any interview where they had interviewed her, if you looked at the newest comments, they immediately got flooded with Tree of Logic, look at Tree of Logic's video, look at Tree, here's the link.
Oh, shit.
So, and then, of course, it, like, blew up from there. And there were other YouTubers that could have potentially triggered something like that. But for some reason, even though Tree has, like, 50,000 subscribers, well, now she's up to, like, 67. But, she had enough subscribers that just really just kind of went, her subscribers are particularly devoted because she gets a lot of heat because she says controversial shit. So she has her subscribers are more devoted than the other ones. So.
And that's what I've noticed too. Like that's like with like my Facebook, like you end up getting a lot of like diehard people because you say the things that they want to say, but like don't have the ability, maybe because of work or whatever, to be able to say those things, and then they like come to your defense at like every opportunity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where they can. So.
Yeah. I mean, and people. All right.
Talk to you. Thanks for.
So.
Okay, absolutely. That'd be awesome. And if you ever want to do it again, when we go
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, this has been interesting. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Give
Thanks.
my wife a hand, so take
Yes.
Yes, all right.